Hello, my name is Leo Ramirez, and I'm here to talk about racial discrimination in the United States. What is racial discrimination? Racial discrimination occurs when individuals are treated differently based upon their actual or perceived race. Race discrimination also encompasses discrimination based upon skin color. Though race and color are related concepts, the two are not synonymous. Color generally refers to discrimination based upon one's pigmentation, complexion, or skin shade or tone. Color discrimination occurs when someone is discriminated against based on the lightness, darkness, or other characteristic. Color discrimination can occur between persons of different races or ethnicities, or between persons of the same race or ethnicity. So what that says is that there's many forms of racial discrimination. It doesn't really have to be titled to a race specifically, but it can be titled to other colors, and even of people in your own same racial group. There are also other forms of discrimination that I'll show you right now. There are racial discrimination, sexual orientation discrimination, height discrimination, gender discrimination, weight discrimination, and chronotype discrimination. So racial discrimination isn't the only type of discrimination that occurs in the United States. Now, many people get terms prejudice and discrimination confused. What prejudice is basically a thought in your head or a stereotype about a certain group of people or person, but you don't really act upon that thought. Now, discrimination is the act that you actually use from the prejudice. So, basically, prejudice technically isn't something that would be illegal in the United States, but discrimination can absolutely be considered an illegal act by some forms of law enforcement. Now, as we look here, there are quite a bit of statistics in relation to racial discrimination in the United States. Most people of some sort of color do report some sort of discrimination, whether it is in schools, work, or just everyday public. So why does racial discrimination happen? Well, racism exists as a mechanism of control. It's been quite a recent construct, as evidenced by absence in ancient texts and history. The concept of race crystallized in the late Renaissance Europe at the dawn of the age of colonialism. Its purpose was to galvanize nation-states and to justify the abuses of colonialism. Racism is purely a social and psychological construct, and any reasonable attempt to look at science, history, and psychology and sociology makes it plain. Yet, it still serves quite effectively as a mechanism of control through division, social stratification, nationalism/ethnocentrism, and justification of ills against others. There are some laws that deal with racial discrimination. For example, Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is considered a federal law that protects individuals from discrimination in employment based on race. Title VII makes it illegal for an employer to discriminate against individuals because of their race in hiring, firing, discipline, distribution of benefits, promotion, compensation, job training, or any other term, condition, or privilege of employment. The laws of most states also prohibit discrimination based on race. So, if you ever applied for a job, you see that basically it says an equal opportunity employer. Well, that kind of falls into this as well. There is quite a bit of set of laws that actually prevent this racial discrimination in the workplace environment and also enforce any discipline of it as well. As of now, the only way to really combat racial discrimination is to provide education. Our children today can make a great impact on how to end this. Furthermore, we can start by educating them at home and at school. If we express our thoughts to our children, that is not an acceptable trait, and it can make a big difference. So basically, we have to teach our children not to discriminate and to basically treat others equally, because if we were to keep the process going for the next couple of generations, it's never going to stop. So education is the key thing to trying to get rid of racial discrimination.